Hi everybody, Joel from RC Max UK here. Hope you're doing very, very well. This is the reveal, a video to show you the new Ultimate Forces RC GX1 buggy, or the Growler. Now this is a buggy from China. It's a two-wheel drive, brushless 8S. Fifth scale sized rear wheel drive. It has a fifth scale power system, so basically a rebranded Hobbywing Max 5. UFRC's own motor in their own heatsink, mounted low down on that rear chassis there, attached to the rear transmission. And it's running currently, or it came with, the original version came with two fifth scale size Savox servos for the steering. You can see there they've changed the wheel nut arrangement. They've got a screw holding on a clamp on each wheel. And you can see they've got a very nicely finished, thick rear drive shafts with CVDs at the wheel side, dog bones on the transmission there, the drive cup. The drive cups are very big. The whole drivetrain seems very solid, very stout, and very thick, as you'd expect from a fifth scale sized truck like this. You've got a cage, very, very sturdy looking cage mounted at the front. It slides into the front bumper, and then it's got three pin mounts either side directly into the chassis. That's the motor there with its own heatsink. I believe it's a 800 kV-ish motor. Very big shocks, adjustable threaded bodied alloy shocks with very thick shafts. You can see, I think they're 8mm shafts. Runs your standard 24mm hex fifth scale tyres, wheels and tyres. The chassis there was a V1 version of this car. Some things are the same, but most of it is different. The chassis is completely new. It's a different design. It's very thick, and it's got these curved up stands at the sides to give it extra strength. And at the front, it's got this very thick front skid plate and a wider section at the front chassis, where I think in the version 1 you could have been a bit of a weak spot there where the chassis is thin, a bit like with the Baja platform. The front of the chassis there, where it thins out for the steering, is a big weak spot. So this one comes as standard with this big thick chassis plate at the front. You got a location for a spare wheel to go at the back, and there's these light pods, lots of light pods. You got two at the top rear, one low down at the back, and you have four at the front on the cage, at the top of the cage, and another two at the very front. These are all ready for installing your own LED kit. I believe there will be an LED kit that you can buy for the car to use all those positions. A few funky little features like the plates, the metal plates on the car. Very sturdy feeling. The cage, there's lots of plastic there on the cage. It's very solid. Quite a lot of suspension travel. It's fairly stiff, but it is quite a heavy car. I'm a bit of a smooth suspension liker. I love it smooth, and it's not. It has a smooth action, but not necessarily the setup is quite how I'd like it. But the action is smooth. I suppose to elaborate on that, what I mean is it's not as supple as it could be. So it's fairly stiff. The car is pretty heavy. With the addition of lipos in it as well, you've got quite a lot of weight. And I guess it's designed with that in mind. But I quite like an action to be quite soft, so the car will just sink quite nicely under its own weight. It doesn't quite do that, but that may lead to a better situation for jumping and so on. But in general, I suppose, using it on rough terrain, I'd see the suspension maybe being a bit on the stiff side for me. The arms are very thick, and they are webbed front and rear. So that's the front of the cage. That slides into the bumper there, just at the top of the bumper. And then you've got three fixing pin points down the side of the chassis on either side. So it fits in very strongly to the chassis. And when it's on there, it gives a really tough feel to the truck. I think it's going to be pretty strong actually. Obviously I haven't used it yet, so that remains to be seen, and I'll be using this and doing some, well, trying to give it a bit of punishment to see the kind of strength that it does have. You can see all the cross bracing here on that cage. There's a lot of bracing, a lot of plastic there, and if anything, I'm very impressed by the solidity of the cage. Now moving on to the car itself, it still has that front rocker suspension assembly, but it does not move as much as the original V1 version, and it's slightly, well, it's thicker and it's made out of plastic. A lot of the cars now have been made out of plastic to try and, I'd imagine, gain a bit of lightness and make the manufacturing process possibly a bit cheaper. The front bulkhead there is plastic now. The original version was metal. The steering assembly, the servo savers are all plastic now. You do still have metal braces and metal parts where you need them. That's all plastic servo horns. But again, if anything, this vehicle feels very solid. So, you know, it's got quite a lot of weight to it. It's got the twin steering servo still, as you can see, mounted under the huge battery box. And the rear motor and transmission is all kind of one piece near enough. You can take the whole motor and transmission out by unbolting just a few screws. Basically, you undo them from the underside, and the whole transmission, once you've taken the rear hubs out of the way and the drive shafts out of the way, the whole transmission and motor slides out as one piece. The battery box now has a couple of clips, one either side, and then it just lifts up, hinged at the front there, and it's massive. You can get very big batteries in there. I think that the recommendation is around the 10,000 milliamp hour size, and you can see there the dimensions: 196 long by 53 wide by 85 millimeters high. So it's a big tray. It's got holes in the bottom to feed your wires through. I did use my Dremel and make a hole either side just because it was easier for me. My leads weren't very long to put the leads out through the back there and just plug them in. So that's what I did on my battery box. Obviously you can modify it as you wish. Max 5's held up nicely on a plate just above the motor. The motor's got plenty of airflow around it, and it no longer has the fans. On the first version there were fans mounted either side of that heatsink motor. The car does come with body panels. I'm waiting to get mine painted. Hopefully, I'm thinking about Shark Fat RC Customs because his paint jobs are so amazing. So I'm waiting to mount the body up with a Shark Fat paint job, hopefully. And that's just a close-up of the rear arms. So you've got all that webbing. You've got droop screws. As you can see there, that's the rear hub. It hasn't got a thread. You've just got the screw-on thread in the middle. But you can replace those in the standard way for Baja-style rear hubs and adapters. The one thing I noticed, it's a little bit narrow, the car. I would probably consider fitting some sort of extenders to the rear especially to get a bit more width. The front hubs are just a freewheel, of course, because it's two-wheel drive. The rear shock towers are plastic, so are the top rear braces there. But you've got metal inserts at the rear lower arms, front and back. I know I've said the word solid a few times now, but the buggy does generally have a feel of quite narrow, quite stubby, and quite solid feeling overall. Right, so that's the UFRC, Ultimate Forces RC GX1 buggy, the Growler buggy, the version 2. This is meant to be coming to Europe. I believe they've got a European supplier now. In theory, you'll be seeing this available to buy soon. I don't know about the price. But yeah, an interesting buggy from Ultimate Forces RC. They have got a four-wheel drive version in the pipeline, so hopefully this will come out. Always good to have other options on the marketplace, and especially options that seem to be quite well made. So yeah, looking forward to hopefully getting some good use out of this, getting some running videos for you so you can see what it's like. And I'll have it with me at Bashfest, so if you want to come and have a look at it up close, please come and have a look and see what it's like for yourselves. Okay guys, take it easy. I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.